Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Cullen Haskins, your local coordinator here in Chicago. Super, super excited for everybody tonight to have this gentleman come into the area. One, because we've had him before and we know how awesome he is as a speaker with the company, but also he's building, he's rocking, he's making things happen, and just hit the next pin level. So executive supervising coordinator, which is over 15,000 in a 4-week pay cycle. One thing I learned a long time ago in this business was to stay plugged into the GMTSS event and never miss an event, no matter who it is, technically, right? You guys are all trusting me. You're trusting Trinity and I. You're right in the best of the best as far as people who are building, making things happen in the trenches, but also people that as they're building, they're jumping pin levels or making things happen. So I'm going to introduce our next speaker. His name is Larry Rogowsky, you guys. So Larry, get on here tonight. I know you were just on vacation, but we were able to line our schedules up and make this, meet on here happen tonight, so everybody can be live with us here on.
Okay, cool. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm really stoked to come into Chicago. Last time I was with you guys was, I think, about 3 years ago. I came out, and I love Chicago. First of all, I have family out there, so it's always fun to come visit. And, I'm from New York City, so any chance I get to visit other cities is really thrilling for me. And I love building in a city, so I kind of know how it works and what the vibe is and how to really build effectively in that sort of environment. So I think just that alone, we're going to have a great day together. So thanks for having me on here tonight. I know we're going to kind of go back and forth a little bit, Cullen, and ask me some questions, and I'll answer them, and we'll sort of play it as we go.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how did you get introduced to the business, Larry? How long ago was it? What year was it? And how did you actually get approached on the business?
Well, it was back in 2006. And way back. So 11 years ago now. And it was actually really interesting. So my background is I'm a licensed massage therapist, and I had a very successful practice in New York City at 49th and 9th. I had a little studio there, and I built from working in some spas to building my own practice because I was never good with having a boss. So I needed to definitely have my own thing. But what I learned very quickly was that if I didn't do a massage, I didn't get paid. So I was really looking for another way to create some sort of income, some sort of leveraged income, which I honestly didn't even really understand the concept at the time. I just knew I wanted to make some more money, and I wanted to make money when I wasn't working, when my hands weren't on a body. So it's sort of funny how it happened. I literally thought about, well, I could have products in my practice. That would be interesting. And I didn't really know anything about this whole world of this type of business model or anything like that. And I literally thought, well, I've heard of this Herbalife thing. Maybe I can get some of those products or something. Luckily, I didn't go down that route. But it was right at that time that I was thinking about products that I actually ran into an old friend of mine who had just gotten started in the business 2 weeks prior to him running into me. We were actually on a line to go. We were going to see a Broadway show, and he saw me. And he said, "Larry, hey, how are you? I know you're doing massage therapy, and I just got started with something I think might be interesting to you." Quite honestly, I think he said all the wrong things. I don't even remember what he said, but I was just the right person at the right time. I was looking. So he invited me to a home business presentation. I didn't know what that was at the time. I actually showed up late. About 10 minutes late. And I walked in, and the guy that was up there talking was talking about like weight loss program and all that. Obviously, he was talking about TLS and at the time called Transitions Lifestyle System. And I kind of sat there like my arms folded. I was such a snob. So I was also, in addition to being a massage therapist, I'm also an integrative nutrition coach. So I was a little bit of a snob about it. And then my good buddy Sue Gilad, she's also been my mentor for years. She was actually showing the business model part, and I was so intrigued. And then I thought, wow, I know I can move some of these products, and that business model seems genius to me. So I was thrilled, and I actually went home that night. It was 11 years ago. I went home that night with a Success from Home magazine, which we don't even use anymore, but our company was profiled in that magazine, and I tore through it on the subway ride home. I couldn't get enough of like reading all the stories of all these successful people with this company. And within that week, I started my business. And it was interesting because back then, and Colin, you've been around longer than I have, so you could attest to this. It wasn't nearly as easy then as it is now. I mean, even getting started, there was no fast start kit. So, I think it was about $700 or $800 when I got started. So I ordered a bunch of product and I got started. But I started pretty quickly and I implemented the products into my practice. So for me, that was really my angle in. But some people say, oh, you're successful because, you're a health professional, you have a practice. That's actually not why. I mean, that definitely assisted. It gave me a vehicle, but I just had a real strong why I wanted to build it. I didn't want to be massaging people until I was 80 years old and, just breaking my back to help other people's backs. So I really sort of hit the ground running and I started building pretty quickly. I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning because I wanted to do it my way. I didn't really want to follow the system. But within the first 6 months, I learned that, okay, I better follow the system. So here I am 11 years later.
11 years later. And it's been an amazing journey, right?
It has been, and totally unexpected. If you would have told me when I started, I mean, I knew I would make some extra money. I thought, wow, 6 figures, 7 figures, maybe, amazing. But I didn't really believe it. And then it happened. And I'm so grateful to this company that I started when I did, and all the tools that the company provides, all the incredible trainers like yourself, and like the whole GMTSS system is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And this now has provided me such freedom in my life to do all the other things in life that I want to do. I don't have to have a job. I don't have to have a boss, which I never wanted. So it just, like I said, gives me a lot of freedom to pursue lots of other things while I keep growing this. I'll never stop growing my shop.com business. No matter, I have very big aspirations. I want to get to making at least $1 million a year residually. But even besides the money, I'm just sort of addicted to it, because once you start doing it and you start to see other people get value from it, and you literally are helping other people to change their lives, you can't stop. It's like a drug.
Absolutely. And so when you got approached on the business, how long was it before? Because you implemented the products there at your practice, but how long was it before you plugged into the GMTSS and really was all in on the training system, as far as using that to leverage and grow your business as well?
Oh, good. So when I started, I had a trip to Costa Rica that was planned, and we had a district conference in our area. And I didn't go to it because I had this trip planned to Costa Rica. Looking back, I wish that I had gone to the district instead. I mean, the trip was amazing. Don't get me wrong. It was an incredible trip, wonderful time. But, I could have been even further ahead more quickly, just because of the system. So the first major event I went to, I started in May. And the first major event I went to was in August. It was the International Convention. And I was like all the way up in the nosebleeds, watching, little JR on stage and thinking, oh my God, all the stuff he's talking about, it's just unbelievable. Is it really going to happen? And of course, now we know, yes, everything he said he was going to do has happened and continues to happen. So, but it was getting to that international convention that really did it for me. And I never missed. Ever since that, I never missed any local seminars, general product trainings. I became a trainer, a TLS trainer, a trainer with Nutrimetrics. I lead locals, obviously, all that stuff, because I want to pay it forward. I want to help other people the way that I found so much value and from every speaker, even some of the speakers that I didn't necessarily resonate with personally, I still found value. And the interesting thing about that is, even though they may not have been my favorite speaker. In fact, one in particular, I won't name them, but there is one speaker in particular they just weren't my cup of tea, right? Whatever, right, that's going to happen. Sure. But I had a new business partner with me, and he nearly fell over with excitement because he loved the training so much. So everybody's going to get value from different people in different ways, and I really love that. But honestly, that speaker included, I've never seen a speaker with our company that I was like, oh, terrible. That's just never happened.
Sure.
So I love our system.
Absolutely.
Vital.
And how long did it take you to be all in on bringing people to the events? I mean, were you all in from the get-go? It sounds like you were all in from the get-go pretty much, huh?
I kind of was. Honestly, Sue, my mentor, was like, let's get to your people. Let's get your people. Let's get your people. She was really good about that. And I wasn't afraid of being pushed. There were a couple times I was like, I was uncomfortable. I was definitely uncomfortable. But my why was more important. to be free was just more important than being uncomfortable. I have a pretty thick skin. I know not everybody does, and it takes other people a little longer to get there. But I want to invite all you guys that are on the call tonight. Like, it's just get out of your comfort zone, because this is so cliche, I know, but all the good stuff is right outside your comfort zone. That's where it is. And once I did that, and I pretty much always did that. There was very rarely a time that I was afraid, or even if I was afraid, that I didn't do it anyway, because I was definitely afraid. Everybody's got fears around, picking up the phone and calling people and talking to people. Now, I'll talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime, the toughest doctor, the most successful business person. I don't care, because I know what we have. We've got such a gift, and we have to share it.
Absolutely. And how long, in order to be bulletproof that way, what do you attribute, how did you become bulletproof that way? And how long did it take you to hit, let's say, professional coordinator in the business?
I got to think. I should have approximately, because I really got to look back and think about when that happened. It was probably after about around 3.5 years or so. Something, I don't know exactly, but right around between 3 and 4 years when I hit professional.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, that proof happened, honestly, though, because I used my mentor, because she was bulletproof way before I was. Mm-hmm. So, and she always stressed that to me. And that's exactly what I do with especially my new people. And by new, I mean within a year. You know what I mean? I consider people new for a very long time, because a lot of times it takes people a while to get started. Some people, I feel like, even at 3 years, they're still new because they haven't really committed to it yet. It's when you commit to it, then your newness starts to wear off, and then you become bulletproof. But that doesn't happen until you're committed.
Absolutely. And so you live, obviously, in New York City, and, there can be some challenges around, living in the city and working through that. But when you say you leverage Sue, who's amazing as well, but right out of the gate, hey, she's lead me to the people. How did you guys expose people to the business? What were the number one 2-on-1s? Were you doing home presentations? What were you guys doing mostly, or a combination? What did you guys do?
It really is a combination. We're lucky, like you guys, we have a great training system in the New York City area, the New York Metro local. So we have, I'm actually the local coordinator here. That happened a year ago. And I'm so pleased to do it. As you know, Cullen, it really is, it's serving everybody else the way that you've been served. And, other people will step up and do it eventually and all that. But it was such a combination. So certainly all our local events, leveraging those. But we did do a lot of, so I had my massage studio at 49th and 9th, and every Monday night, whether people showed up or not, we showed the business plan. And other people, people just got up and did it. And so it wasn't just me doing it all the time, but new people would get up, because that's what Sue did with me. I'll never forget the first time I got up and I showed the business plan. We just had my old Dell laptop, no projector, nothing else, just the small laptop set up on a desk or whatever it was. And we had probably 8 to 10 people there, because we just were fearless about inviting people. And people would come. A lot of actors would come, because they were always looking for something. But and that was very much my community as well. And Sue would, I would get up and start, and I would feel, okay, Sue will take over eventually. And I would turn to her, and she would go, okay. And all of a sudden I'm done. And I did the whole thing, and I sucked. I was not good, but I did it. And by doing it and doing it and doing it, I got really good at it. So, and then I do the same thing with my team. I get them up there. I think it's so important to, and not everybody's going to get in front of the room, but for the most part, I get people up there, get out of their comfort zone, even if they feel like they can't do it. So what? Mess it up. And I tell them that, I'm like, you're going to be terrible. Who cares? Just do it. And then they surprise themselves. And I'm never surprised. I'm like, of course you were good. Of course you did great. And nobody knew the parts that you messed up. Of course they didn't know that. So it's really about just doing it. There's no big secret. I feel like everybody's waiting for the magic pill, the big, maybe Larry at his local seminar is going to share the big secret. Guess what, guys? I'm not. However, what I am going to share with you are all the things that have worked for me and have worked for the people that are in my circle and my team, and that things that continue to work. And My favorite part of the day is we're going to work a lot together. We're going to do a lot of role playing, and I'm going to get you guys talking, because to me, a lot of it is about language and how the heck you talk to people about this thing. Because that's where I feel like so many people get stumped. And that's an area which I love. I mean, I could talk to anybody, no matter what. So I think that that's a skill that's really good to hone in on. So we'll do a lot of that at my local.
Awesome. So would you say then in the beginning, was it more the evaluation approach then? I mean, people were coming to your office there as more of a first look right out of the gate. So it was kind of like, hey, come all right for you kind of thing. I mean, was that your approach, or how did you approach people in order to get them to come? I mean, as we know, New York, Chicago, and they obviously seen enough value, for you guys to get them out there. So I'm just curious to know how you guys did that.
People are cynical too.
Yeah.
Like really, I was cynical, even though I was open to going, but I got there like this, So I think it's not making it about the business. And I think that that's a big thing. You got to ask questions when you talk to people. You got to find out what they're looking for. And you say, you know what? I love that. I was kind of in the same boat. Come check this out. It's an hour out of your time. It'll be really fun. You'll meet some great people. It's an awesome chance to get to network with some people who are up to some big things. So come. And that's how I still approach it these days. Whenever I invite someone to a UBP or to any event, to a local seminar, and this is good for you guys, like as you're inviting people to my local, first of all, talk about the speaker. This is why it's good that you guys are getting to know me right now and sort of what makes me tick and my vibe. But it's all about finding out what people are looking for. You guys, I should tell you more of my theater background as well, because you guys may know people out there who are in the theater or in film or television, in the performing arts. They should come to my seminar as well, because I'm a Broadway producer, and I'm going to talk about that. And because of this business that I'm able to be a Broadway producer, this allows me to do that. So that's also a major part of the day that I will touch on. As I sang, I just got lost. I was talking about...
You were talking about how to invite him there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What I was talking about. Oh, yeah, Colin. So I make it it's fun. This is an event that's going to be a great time to be at. We'll get a cocktail afterwards if you're talking to someone who wants to do that. You got to make it something that they're going to want to come to. Like, not that it's a business thing I got to sit through. And, it's really about, like, this is going to be a fun event. It's 9 to 2:30, super fast. And you're going to meet lots of great people. Bring business cards with you. I love talking to entrepreneurs, because you tell them, look, this is a chance for you to network. So bring business cards. You're going to meet great people. Come dressed to impress. Don't come in jeans and a t-shirt. Don't come in sweatpants. Come like you're, at least business casual, but look good. And for you guys, all you guys that are, the leaders in your area, and that already, to do that, to be the example for all your people out there, to come just like, this is business, and we're going to rock it out. We're going to have a great time. But it's also, we want to show people that we have fun, but this is very serious business as well.
Absolutely. It's interesting because we just had an unfranchised business presentation a week and a half ago with one of our go-nows who lives out of state, but he was in town visiting. And so since he's from our area, though, Larry, like, he connected with a number of people saying, hey, I'm going to be back in the area. Would love to have you come out. Listen, I don't know if the business would be right for you or not, but I would love to have you just come out and just, come support me. Come learn what it is I'm doing. And, we had 18 guests, and like probably half of those were his. And it was incredible because it really made me, we're always learning, right? We're always like correct and then move on. But in the beginning, It's like people are overthinking it so much. And what's the best way to approach somebody? And all he did was just ask people to evaluate, ask them to come out and literally took the pressure off and come support me. And people were like, all right, I'll come support you. And I think sometimes people, if they just would ask people to support them and say, I want to support you in what you do. I would love for you to support me in what I do. Just as simple as that, people will sit down with you. People will come out. They'll check things out, But I think you're right. I think people are overthinking it a lot of times.
Well, and it's also a testament to who you are as a person. You know what I mean? Like, relax into it a little bit. And this is for everybody. I tell myself this all the time. Relax into it. Just be who you are and make a powerful invitation. Meaning, you know what I mean? Just like this guy you're talking about. It's all about being genuine. If you try to be someone else, like, we're not all going to be Colin Haskins. we're not all going to be that person. Nobody's going to be as cool as Colin. You know what I mean? So like, so we got to be ourselves and invite in that way. Because then people are going to say, you know what? Yeah, I'd love to come. And first of all, I'd love to come and support you. Or, you know, this sounds interesting. Maybe I'll check it out. Or I know, and I always tell people, look, I don't know if it's right for you or not, but I can guarantee you, you know, at least 100 people that are looking for this right now. So
that's good. That's
you got to check it out. Yeah, don't let them down. Come look at it for the other people in your life. You may even see something in it for yourself, but I don't know. You may not be right. Who knows? And I let it go. I take it away from them.
I love that. I think that's so huge. You're selling on the vision, and they probably will know the right people. And I think that's a huge deal, and takes the focus off of them. Love it.
It takes the pressure off. And like, oh, okay, they're not trying to get me, you know. And I think that's another thing that's, you know, when you really pressure someone into coming to someone, all of a sudden they feel like you're their only one, and you know they feel pressured. So that's a good point for all of us. We need to have a lot of beans. You know, we need to have a lot of chips in our casino, and chips are endless because we're a people business. And people are everywhere. Just when you feel like you have nobody else to talk to, get out of your house. Just take a walk somewhere. Go to get a juice. There's always healthy people at, you know, juice bars that are happy to have the conversation. So, you know, there's just so much out there, and you just gotta go.
And so if somebody was inviting somebody, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody was clear on it. But like if somebody was inviting somebody and they are into, you know, the Broadway, the theater thing, or something of that nature, I mean, you really built this business, and one of the things on your list, your goal statement, right, was to be a producer, I'm assuming, right? I mean, so yeah. You've accomplished that. So it's kind of like letting somebody know, hey, listen, you know, I've got incredible opportunity to get a guy coming to town, right? I mean, what would they say to him? Did you already say this?
Yeah. So in the realm of, you know, the fact that I'm a producer, I mean, anybody who's in the entertainment field should want to meet me. I don't say that to sound cocky. I don't mean it like that at all. But if I was an actor, if I was a director, if I was anything in that realm, I'd want to meet me, because I'm the guy who could potentially give them work, you know, hook them up with someone that they could go, so all that stuff. So people should want to come and at least connect with me on that level. They also, I think, would want to learn, like, okay, so I was able to, because I'll tell you this, the only people that are producers, and I've learned this as I've been doing this now, are people who have been successful elsewhere, or they've come up, they have paid their dues in the theater, like Hard Knocks, not pretty. Most people are not willing to do it. But like I said, most of them, the big producers, they come from other businesses, and then they start producing. You know, they're successful somewhere else. So, you know, you can use that as well. Like, come see Larry speak. His background is as a health professional, and this is what's interesting. He's a health professional, and now he's able to live his dream as a Broadway producer because of the business that he built, that I'm also building. You got to come meet him. So it's that type of thing, you know. Certainly, you guys, for anyone who's a health professional, especially massage therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists, people in the alternative arts, they're going to want to learn about how I did it. And I will talk about that, obviously, at the local, about exactly how I went from, I mean, I alluded to it tonight, but from like how I started, how I actually built it, and how I got to where I am, and able to, you know, not, you know, basically retire from massage therapy and go on to do other things.
Fantastic. Let me ask you this too. A couple of two more questions. One of the questions is, how often did you work the business when you were, you know, new and really hit the ground running, and or even jumping a pin level? Like, I mean, when you look at, you know, quantifying the hours that you're putting into the business, how many hours would you say you're putting into the business? And of course, result producing activity time. You know, I mean, really. Treating it like a business, you know, it's interesting. I heard this quote the other day and I loved it, because it was like, you know, treat it like a part-time business, not a spare time business. You know,
it's really good.
A lot of people are stuck on that spare time thing, and it's like they just try to fit it in, and of course, it's always next week kind of thing. But anyways,
right, because people will also get freaked out if you tell them, oh, you got to work this full time. It's not a full time business. This business is we all know, designed 10 to 15 flexible hours in a week. Now, I honestly, and people ask me this all the time, this question, how many hours a week do you work your business? I have no idea. And the reason I say that is because it's just part of who I am and what I do. I'm always working the business. You know what I mean? So like, I literally can be at, an opening of a Broadway show, and I can be in conversation with someone and they sneeze. And I say, oh, is that allergies or a cold? And then we're going to talk about OPC3. It's just going to happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, always there. But I think going back to like my first year when it wasn't always there, that was when really my first couple of years is when I worked the most. I certainly worked a lot more then than I work now, because now it's I feel like it's easier now because obviously I have success, yes, but I have a big team that I can rely on, and I love referring to people on my team. I think that's also a huge point. People forget that they really try to do this by themselves. If you're doing it by yourself, you're doing it wrong. You want to leverage everything you can and everyone that you can, whether they're financially connected to you or not. I love that that's the spirit of this company. I think Sid Dallaire is on this. I love Sid.
Yes.
I think I've talked to some of his people. I know I have talked to some of his people, and I'm always happy to do that because I know Sid's success is my success, even though it may not be directly linked right away. But man, if I have a lawyer or someone who runs marathons or someone who I know Sid would connect with, I might say, you know what, I'm going to connect you with my friend Sid to talk to. And leverage Sid in that way, just as he would leverage me as for the things that I do.
Absolutely, such a key component. And I think when you're building too, Larry, you don't think twice about it. We're always leveraging each other because we're growing and making it happen. And I think some people that aren't necessarily in build mode or haven't 100% committed to the business are the ones who always feel like they're bugging somebody. And it's like, just be all in on it, just run with us, link arms. I'm always using that. I'm like, link arms. I think as Chicago, we could do a lot better at. And so I was curious, in New York, how do you guys link arms best? Is it still like do you guys do a weekly or a bi-weekly UBP or what do you guys do as far as like some kind of rhythm looking together?
So we have, just like you guys, we have Facebook pages. Of course, we have our New York Metro local for the greater area, the local. Then I have just my team. We have a Facebook page, and I'm really adamant about like watch what you post on that page, and I monitor it, of course, because it's all about positive and cheerleading and victories and all that. We're not bitching or complaining on our Facebook page. That doesn't work for me. And definitely, it's, like I said before, leveraging each other and leveraging all that. But we do, obviously, we have our local events here. I have people now on the team who do every 30 days, a 30-day action call. And that's open to really everybody on my team. So some people take advantage of it. Some people don't. I can't force people to do stuff. I used to get really frustrated with that. And I've just let it go. And it's so much better, this, Cullen, when you let that stuff go, because the ones that are going to do it are going to do it and they're going to run with it. And the ones that aren't, they're just not, So we have that. We have lots of regular events that are happening all over our area. Like I have a lot of health professionals in my organization. So we're able to leverage that by doing wellness events all over the place. And I have several physicians too. So we try to leverage them as much as possible. Of course, with moving product, but then even talking to other health professionals and leveraging their expertise. So we definitely have a lot of regular events that are happening. And, but we plug into like a lot of my team plugs into Ryan's staff stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
6x6. I love that those guys do that stuff. I mean, I would imagine you leverage it as well. Like, I don't want to have to do all that. Nobody should have to. Like, I'm so psyched that they're doing those things and they open it up to the company.
Absolutely. I mean, whether it's the 6x6 Ryan Stack or, a lot of our organization does like, it's called Leadership Academy, David and Stacy White and all that stuff. So, but I agree with you 100%, Larry. It's just like, just pick a track, run on it, result producing activities, check off the box. We got a lot of people doing the weekly checklist. That's what our challenges revolve around, is just that weekly checklist. Right. Just trying to keep it simple, but focus on the result producing activities and moving forward. Right. Yeah, so
I love when my team calls me with like positive stuff and they need help and all that. I know the people that I won't pick up the phone for anymore, because I know every time they call me, it's a complaint about something, and they know that. I mean, they get to know now, and I know. But that's just what it has to be. You know what I mean? So just know, for all you guys on this call, like when you're calling your mentor, you got to call them with like, because they're going to help you. They're going to help you as much as they possibly can, but they're only going to help you if you're go now and you're positive and you're ready to run up the hill. But if you're just calling with complaints all the time, eventually they're going to stop answering the phone. It's wasted time.
Or call with your solution. It's like, hey, I have a challenge. I've come up with some solutions, want to run them by you, and I'm going to solve this problem. See, it's just all mental. It's attitude, right?
That's right.
It's all about solutions.
It's all about your point of view on it.
Absolutely. All right, one final question, everybody. Yeah. One final question. Okay, so if you had not built your unfranchised business, what would your life look like today, and how different would it be?
I would look like this. I mean, I would look much older than I am, I'm sure. Man, that's a great question. I would have found something, I'm sure. I don't know what it would have been, but I am so grateful that I found this. I can't imagine a better vehicle. I really can't. And I also can't imagine me doing 20 to 25 hours of massage anymore every week, because that's what I was doing. So there would have been something, but man, this is by far the greatest gift I could have asked for, because it just has made my life not only free, but joyful. Like I feel I could sleep at night. Like I'm doing something good. I'm not selling my soul to make money. And that makes me feel good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, there's no question in my mind why you're so successful, because you're a genuine guy. You love helping people, and you can just tell, Larry, like when you lead with your heart and you're out there asking questions and talking to people, you're kind of on that freeway of great things to happen. You just get run over automatically, versus, like I feel like a lot of people don't get on the freeway, or they stay on the freeway they're on of maybe they've had some negative things happen in their life, and they got to get off that freeway and jump on our freeway, which of course is the GMTSS, and again, link arms. And man, we are just super, super excited to have you out here June 24th for our local seminar. By the way, Friday night, we're going to have a unfranchised business presentation on Friday night at the Wyndham, starting at 7:30. And, I know on Fridays, traffic is crazy. But in the end, I was like you, Larry, like I didn't miss events. Like if I could get to a UBP even if I didn't have a guest, I was there because I was taking a note. I was trying to get a nugget off of what that person would say when they showed the plan,
You have to. It's like, because you're not just showing up for you. You're showing up for the guy next to you or the girl next to you. You know what I mean? Like, because they might need you that night. And guess what? The next time, the person who shows up, you might need them. So don't just show up for yourself, show up for other people, and it will come back to you. I mean, in spades. It just will. So I hope everybody makes it to Friday night, because Friday night will set us up for Saturday. And guys, bring your guests Friday night. People who are on the fence, who are like, maybe I want to come Saturday, I'm not sure. Invite them to Friday night. It's free. So they can get just a taste of who I am and what I'm like. And then they can make their decision if they're going to come on Saturday. Trust me, they will. But yes.
Fantastic. Well, Larry, thanks so much for taking time with us tonight and us getting to know you a little bit better. We're super pumped to have you into Chicago, and looking forward to it, man. It's going to be incredible.
Me too. Thank you so much, Colin. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, man. Sounds great, buddy. Thank you.